Despite a change of mind, the son saw a classmate steal another's chocolate and, instead of stopping, aided him secretly. He thought his action was wrong, but the son believed that if he protected his classmate, he would get a share. If he exposed the classmate, he might end up with nothing. A win-win situation seemed like the best approach, right? So Bas chose not to discuss it with the general manager, but to privately meet Asa's rep Serge and share his conk bank plan. Asa saw the exposure risk and told Serge to wash the check to mislead Bas, unaware had underestimated his ambition. Without hesitation, Bas tore up the check, making it clear that he wanted more than just this. He insisted on his conditions. Bas demanded a 1% commission on the bank receipts and required Serge to provide information on the stocks. To be cautious, he requested the commission to be paid in cash, and Serge readily agreed. Thus, they initiated a mutually beneficial. Bas sought help from a money laundering expert who advised him that to avoid detection quickly, he needed to play the lottery. So, after some maneuvering, Bas hit the jackpot of 2.5 million rupees. He used this money to open an account specifically for buying stocks. With the stock info Serge provided, Bas started investing. Bas spent 1.7 million rupees on a stock called Xander and sold it for a tidy profit when the price shot up. He deposited all the profits into the company's account, proudly declaring he made money through stocks. As Bas's sister met her crush and started flashing large amounts of cash, she was shocked by her sister's lavish spending. His wife followed suit, enjoying the life of luxury. Bas's lifestyle underwent a dramatic transformation overnight. Though he spent lavishly, he gained respect and became a big buyer at the shop. At this point, Sion, the money launderer, told Bas that winning within 3 months might cause tax issues, necessitating a strategy shift. Sion was aware that the finances in the Heian Bay area, Singapore, and Bas had already been approved. Therefore, Bas opened a private company in his wife's name as a middleman, and Sion became the accountant. Bas, unfamiliar with the business, gained confidence after several foreign orders, thinking his company highly profitable. As time passed, Bas kept an ear out for stock market changes while needing to regularly adjust his accounts and phones to clean the dirty money. These tasks kept him busier than ever while also helping him gain more benefits in these dealings. It seemed like he was really getting the high of these dealings little by little. Friends urged him to be cautious, but in the end he chose a more dangerous path. Before long, Bas paid the price for his risky behavior. He got trapped by Asa and was held accountable for losses that weren't even legal. Some of the signatures on documents were forged, with even fake bank accounts causing much chaos in the records. After receiving the news from the newspaper, Bas was a bit stunned. This situation was serious enough to land him in jail, and he needed to make some wise choices ASAP. Those who gave him advice couldn't handle the stress and were almost scared to death. This left Bas feeling utterly baffled. He wanted to quit, but he simply couldn't resist the temptation. At this moment, he learned that Samba had been arrested for smuggling, so he quickly spent money to bail him out. Seeing Samba all riled up and indignant, Bas felt a mix of emotions inside. Back home, Bas smirked seeing his brother-in-law's defeat from failed property investment. Although the poor son-in-law looked miserable, Bas refused to lend a hand, and his mother-in-law wasn't helping either, trying to pile on the pressure. Yet, his wife still made the choice to stand by Bas and defend his case. In fact, the pressure on his wife was heavier than what Bas felt. Bas's father, a former chartered accountant, uncovered his son's money laundering scheme through some receipts. This was practically gambling, as Bas lost himself in it while neglecting his family. This experience hit Bas like a ton of bricks, and he resolved to make a change. And so the real show began as Bas decided to sell off all his stocks. He shut down the money laundering company, putting everything back on track, and cut ties with Serge. After a series of moves, Bas gradually found himself again, becoming a more compassionate person. He even used his money to make amends to those he had wronged in the past. He personally apologized to those people and reconciled with them. However, Bas's workplace was still rocky as his general manager frequently collaborated with Serge. He still yearned to turn his fortunes around with a profitable project. However, Bas was unable to tolerate the decisions made by the general manager any longer, and as a result, he confidently submitted his resignation letter. The general manager thought he had lost his mind, but could Bas really walk away unscathed? Not long after, Bass was approached by the CBI. Although he was involved in financial crimes, they couldn't find any evidence against him. But it was clear they weren't going to let him off easily, and they even tried to freeze his accounts. Bass felt extremely anxious and immediately took action to counterattack. He switched up his approach and revealed his true self. When he confronted Hassa's associates, he reported them in return. This left Hassa severely hit, demanding Bass reveal $1 billion rupees in his account to escape. But would Bass yield to their demands? The answer was definitely no. When Suraj took Bass' check to cash it, he found out that his account had been frozen. It turned out that Bass had anticipated the potential danger and had taken measures in advance.